1 hour of multi-ball training is several times more effective than 1 hour of single-ball drills. For instance, simply rallying back and forth is not an effective way to improve. However, if your drills include all kinds of variations, then you're practicing for a real match. This is the classic disconnect between training and match performance. A robot also counts as multi-ball training, and a good one can be very effective. Honestly, the main problem is that you don't encounter enough ball variation in your practice. So when variations appear in a match, you can't handle them because you've never practiced them. If you only practice looping a consistent backspin feed, you'll be fine. But in a match, the ball will come high, short, and with different spins. But if you've already mastered these shots in multi-ball training, you'll have no fear in a match. So in your practice, you must cover all possibilities: short, long, high, fast, slow, wide angles, and kick balls. Regarding your training schedule, I recommend a 70% training to 30% match play ratio. You should adjust this schedule on a weekly basis. The core philosophy is to discover your problems in matches and solve them in training. I suggest 2 solutions. First, use a robot, which can substitute for a training partner for the next year or 2. Second, learn how to feed multi-ball yourself and then teach your training partner. This is the fastest method. Of course, hiring a coach is an option, but it's expensive. Let's explain why so many players have a poor serve. It's because they can't create proper friction on the ball. Your serve might look technically correct, but it has no spin. The key to generating spin in table tennis is friction. To give you an exaggerated example, our service motion is like this, and it fails to generate good friction. When practicing serves and receives, you need to develop the feeling of maximizing the ball's dwell time on your rubber. If you just hit the side of the ball, it goes forward. But when you create friction, the ball grips the rubber. That's the sign of a good contact. You must test this with short serves. If you can make a short serve spinny, you can easily add arm speed to make a long serve spinny. First, let's listen to the sound of impact. Now, listen to the sound of pure friction. A pure friction contact has no sound of the blade. It's all rubber. On a short serve, the ball should barely touch the blade. It launches off the rubber as it deforms. A long serve might have a bit of blade contact, so a pure brushing sound is like this. Why is my serve not spinny? Look. What's wrong with this motion? You must relax. The reason you can't create friction is because your hand and wrist are too stiff. The initial contact should be soft, then you accelerate. If your hand is stiff, the ball just bounces off instantly. Let's test a stiff hand versus a relaxed hand. From the same height, here is a stiff hand, notice the high bounce. Now, here's a relaxed hand. See the huge difference? If you add motion, a stiff hand will launch the ball high, while a relaxed hand can grip the ball. For both your serve and receive, your hand cannot be stiff. Otherwise, you're just hitting the ball, creating zero spin. You will not improve until you fix this. To create friction, you need a loose grip, about 30% pressure, before contact. Don't grip it tightly. If you tense up, your paddle becomes too bouncy. Friction is about ball feel. My feeling is like striking a match. A thin, fast brushing motion, not a hard impact. If your hand is stiff when the ball arrives, it will bounce off long before you can apply any friction. You should aim for this feeling of gripping the ball.
应该是这种感觉。
哎，
哈，我看，
Not hitting it.
嘣！
大家
Your first point of contact must be soft.
就你碰到这个球，你看，比如球，这是我的球，这是我的拍儿。
After contact, accelerate through the ball with a thin brushing motion, like striking a match.
给它蹭薄点儿，
Like this.
就这样。
Here's how to feel it.
明天你就这样。
Place the ball on the table and practice a left side spin serve like this, ensuring the ball touches the net and, due to its spin, drops on the right side of the table.
必须你从那儿下网啊，
Not like this.
刚开始就给我撩出去。
Feel that soft friction. Do the same for your right-sided spin. Just place the ball on the table and brush it.
然后你这样蹭，
That's the feeling of friction.
摩擦的感觉。
You'll discover that using brute force is useless.
没有用的。你只有蹭的越多，
The longer your brushing path on the ball, the more spin you will generate.
旋转力是越大的。
Pushing it forward, down, or up creates no spin.
都没有转。
The moment the ball lands on your paddle,
第一触感
the initial feeling should be that it's glued there.
粘住了一样。
Let it dwell on the rubber for a moment instead of instantly hitting it away. First, don't rush the motion.
第一点，第二点呢，触球以后一定让这个球。
Second, contact the ball as thinly as possible.
薄一点，对，越薄越好。
The thinner the brush, the more spin you'll
这
get.
就转了。
Even on short serves, focus on making that contact thin.
蹭薄一点。
So, when you start practicing, try chopping the ball towards the floor.
对，把力
This
量
helps release tension and lets you feel the brushing motion.
磨。
The third key point is rhythm.
我都跟大家说过。
To generate maximum spin, your serve must have a slow to fast tempo.
快，你才能产生最强的旋转。
This is a slow to fast rhythm.
快，这就转了。
对。
你看，我们要摔。
A fast rhythm is useless.
没有用。
Your opponent can flick it easily. But with a slow fast rhythm, the ball is so spinny that they can't flick it.
转。
Looping follows the same principle.
是这种变速的感觉。
就是你拉球。
If you always use a fast rhythm, you're just rushing the contact point.
对，
强点。
是的，
Follow this tempo.
一定是慢棒，
对，
慢棒。
Many players are either too fast or too slow.
快快，然后让老师说别抢点，我就慢慢。
All strokes in table tennis, whether looping or hitting, should have this slow to fast feeling.
这个感觉，拉球打球都是这样。
Explosive power comes from this accelerating brush,
它不是
not from simple impact,
转，你看这都不
which has no spin.
明白吧？
The rhythm is slow, then fast.
快。
During your backswing, relax and intentionally slow down.
含着这个速度是
At contact, intentionally accelerate as fast as you can.
慢快。
For your serve, your shoulder, upper arm, forearm, and wrist must move like a whip or a fishtail.
它就像看鱼尾一样在摆动。
You have to use each joint separately.
对，全能分开。你看，比如说，你看
These
这是
parts do
一
not
个
move
打法
simultaneously.
它不是当当，它不是这一个动作出来的。
对，
The motion is sequential, not all at
它不
once.
是这样，一起往后，一起往前。如果是我，比如说一个侧下
For a side spin backspin serve, your upper arm and elbow drop first.
你看大臂和肘
Then the
向前
forearm moves
然
forward,
后前臂往前，
the wrist
手腕
snaps,
摆动
and the forearm
再
follows
往
through.
前臂往前推。
A common mistake is moving the entire arm as one rigid unit
你看
for both regular and reverse pendulum
后腿
serves.
是看一起高一起低。
Here is my side spin serve in slow motion.
做慢动作就是
After the backswing, the elbow and upper arm drop.
臂先下来，
The forearm moves forward to meet the ball, fingers and wrist create friction, and the forearm pushes forward.
哎，这都是
It's all separate movements.
真是分开用力的。
It should not be like a stick moving at the same height.
完了，一起高，一样高度，你看，再一样高度，再一样高度，再一样高度，再一样高度，停止了。
这就是固
The correct way is to lead with the elbow and upper arm close to your body.
肘和大臂先贴身体
Let the forearm find the ball, brush with the wrist, and then follow through. Like a swinging fishtail.
这个感觉。你
For the
看你
reverse
勾
pendulum
勾
serve,
它这个肘为什么很多人勾手
many
不好
fail because their arm angle never
它
changes.
没有发生，你看手臂的变化，它依然是一个夹角到夹角状态。你看
For my serve, I fold my forearm on the backswing. Then as I serve, my elbow drops close to my body. And after brushing the ball, I extend the elbow forward. Most amateur players serve with their elbow out, and their upper and forearm don't separate. Record yourself and check if you're doing this. To fix this, practice opening your upper arm while folding your forearm. Once you can separate these, work on separating your forearm and wrist. If that's too difficult, start by just separating your forearm and wrist. My reverse pendulum serve is not one solid motion. I use my wrist to go down and then up. That is separation. First, learn to isolate your joints, then learn to accelerate them in a whip-like motion, similar to Ma Lin's serve. You must practice with a clear purpose, not just to go through the motions. If you don't focus on key areas, your progress will be slow. Focus on 3 areas. First, body coordination. Perfect your entire service posture: left foot forward, right foot back, low stance, stomach in, toss, and serve. Do this for every single ball. Many players just pick up a ball and serve casually. This is wrong. You must be deliberate. Body power isn't just about the swing. Practice the full routine. Proper stance, low center of gravity, level hand, toss, backswing, contact, and follow through, using your body weight transfer, down, up, down. If you practice with this purpose, you'll improve very quickly. Second, practice friction. If your friction is poor, stop practicing long serves. When you try to serve long, you'll focus on power and neglect the quality of your brush. Always use short serves to practice friction. You need to develop explosive power in your fingers and wrist. When you practice long serves, your arm instinctively pushes forward to clear the net, which kills your friction. A serve is about spin, speed, placement, and coordination. Once you have spin, how do you get speed? It's all about the contact point. Your serve is slow because your contact point is too high. A fast serve is always hit at a low point. You must practice hitting at a low point, using your body's momentum from back to front for both your standard and reverse pendulum serves. Practice contacting the ball at different heights as it drops. You'll find a high contact point is slow, and a low contact point is fast. If you miss when contacting low, it means you need to practice and find the right timing. Find the right angle of approach and synchronize your motion to transfer your body's power into the ball. When you do that, the speed will come naturally. Speed doesn't come from just pushing with your forearm. That creates a fast but spinless ball. When you combine friction with a low contact point and body power, your serve will be both fast and spinny. The final element is placement. Once you've mastered the fundamentals, start working on service combinations. For example, set 1, a long serve to the backhand, followed by a short serve to the forehand. Set 2, a short serve to the backhand corner, followed by a fast serve down the forehand line. Set 3, a sidespin backspin serve to the middle, followed by a short sidespin topspin serve to the backhand. Now your serve has become a tactical weapon. Join as a member for early access to new videos and to unlock exclusive members-only shorts. Thank you for supporting the channel's growth.